when we look at this first, okay, you need to use P equals on RT. Because a couple people in first period were already asking how to be able to tell that this is different from the questions on the quiz. And then possibly with you guys late today, but certainly if not today after the quiz tomorrow, we're going to start stoichiometry with CAPTCHA. Or how are we going to be able to tell the difference tomorrow in the fall or next week on the test when all these terms are all mixed together. So when you start looking at these again, remember, as a math, anything on the quiz yesterday have a math? No. How many temperatures and pressures do you have? One. Everything on the quiz yesterday had how many? Two. Okay, that's the biggest thing to recognize. And yesterday was different from what we did today. Okay, the thing that's going to make tomorrow different is you're going to have balanced equations. And so when you look at this, P equals RT, what do we know? I know there's not many of us compared to my other classes. So come on, y'all know stuff. I said, what do we know? Okay, what is the volume? $54.8 is what? N, okay? So 54.8 grams is N, okay? We're looking for what? Okay, so what's pressure? 1 atm, good. What's bar? Good, and what's temperature? All right, so is everything in the right unit so we can just plug it in and chug out an answer? No, what's not in the right unit? Okay, so we're going to change grams to what? Good, what number goes beside mole? And what compound or element did I give you? Argon was argon's mass, 39.9. You could have rounded it to 40 and that would be fine. It wouldn't make a difference if you chose not to. So 54.8 divided 39.9. I'm usually going to take it out to decimal places. If you choose not to, your answer is going to vary a little bit from mine. So your rounding might be slightly different. So that's why I recommend that you show your work. For example, yesterday on question number 3, the answer was 480. And I'm going to pick on Agilon because he had this problem. His answer was 459. And just a quick glance, I would have marked 459 wrong because 459 and 480 aren't real close together, are they? However, Agilon showed all of his work, and his answer was given full credit because his work was completely right. He had just rounded a whole lot in things like this, so when he plugged in, because he had rounded so much, it changed his answer significantly, but his work was correct. Okay? So the more you round in places like this, the more your answer will vary. So if you're one of those people like Agilon who rounds a lot, make sure you show your work or more of it. All right, so we're going to divide by 1. Divide by 1, all is equal. What do we get here? I got 30.6 because I'm just lazy and don't round up. I just write whatever I see on the calculator, and I put liters on the end. Everybody okay with that? Yes, but there. Making what for Christmas?
Made of like all natural like things like vitamin E, different things like cookies and the ornaments. They made of aquaculture vitamins and we're baking and making an ornament and they give off like a good scent. Like you like different foods and not me, but
And you're doing
it's for I'm trying to get my dad to get Christmas.
and you are who? I guess in the ornament. And how much does it cost?
You're like one day. Oh, you don't have to do that. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I have to dig around my pocket.
Thank you.
Well, I have no idea. I really get the thought. I think that's what did it say? That had good smelling stuff in it that I probably will never use. Okay. Okay. So, in number 2, what are we solving for? Alright, so we're back. So what letter are we solving for? N. Alright, so we're solving for N. What do we know? Volume is what? Okay, 458 milliliters. Alright, what else do we know? Is? Alright, what's R? Okay, and what's temperature? Alright, so are we good on our units? No, none of them. So, 95.6 divided by 101.325 is 0.94 ATM. Alright, 458 will be 0.458 liters. Now, when they give me 3 numbers in milliliters, I do not round those off. I keep all 3 numbers. Some students, for some reason, will round those to 0.45 or will, God forbid, round it to 0.4. I don't change those. So if you're one of those who rounds that to 0.4 or 0.5, your answer will be different from the rest of them. And 308. All right, so pulling it into PV equals nRT. P is 0.94. V is 0.458. Equals N, 0.0821, and 308. Divide by 0.0821 and by 308. Point. Again. Again. 0.0821 and 308. And it's going to equal 0.94 times 0.458 divided by 0.0821 divided by 308, and I get 0.017 moles. 0.017 moles is not what I need though. So what I have to do on moles? Convert to grams. One there, and remembering that I have chlorine. What do I know about chlorine from yesterday? It's a diatomic. So some people round that down to 70. I round it up to 71. Or times 71 is 1.2 for me. A lot of people round it down. Yours might be slightly less than what I have. Okay? Questions about anything in the opening and using the formula? Huh? Because the question said what mass? Mass is grams. Mass is always grams. Anytime you're reading a question that says mass, mass is always going to be a gram number. Okay? It's never going to be a mole. Okay? Anybody have a question before we talk homework? No? We're ready to talk homework? See what we got? Okay. Okay. I'll scan those when I do mine a little bit. All right, question number 1B is the only one you do not have to show any work for. Okay, so what could you tell me about the number of molecules? They should be the same. I think Anae was the other one who wrote they were the same on the paper. So you just have 1.08 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, because the volumes are the same, the molecules would be the same. All right, the rest of them you should have work for. 2B and 3B are old questions, so you would be drawing charts to show essentially old work. So 2B would be 1.50 times 10 to the 24th molecule. And then 3B, you would have 17.0 grams. Now, I did those in significant digits because they're old questions, so you should be able to do them in significant digits. But like I said, I won't take off for significant digits. So if you just rounded to 17, I wouldn't take off for that. 4B should be around 78 liters. 5B, around 0.25 moles. 6B, somewhere around 5.5 grams. And 7B, somewhere around 2.8 liters. Questions, issues, concerns? Will we work something? 5 was 0.25 moles. And 6 was 5.5 grams. 4 is 78 liters. Sure. 4 and 6, all right? All right, so number 4, again, we're using PV equals nRT. So number 4, they gave you what for the question? Okay, so we know 273K, we know 1 ATM, and we know R is 0.0821. So what else did they give you in the question? 3.5 what? Got it. You know, N is 3.5 moles. All right, so that means you're solving for P. So is everything in the correct unit? Yes. So all we have to do then is plug in the PV equals nRT. The pressure is 1. V we don't know. N is 3.5. R is 0.0821. And temperature is 273. Divide by 1. Divide by 1. Volume equals whatever you get when you multiply or divide, which is 3.5 times 22.4, 78.4. It could be. Okay. Which other one did you want to do? All right. 6, do you have 0.017? Okay. All right. Because if you have 0.017, you've gotten almost there, and you have the moles, and you just didn't finish the question. All right, well, let's do the rest of it. So they said SPP again. You have 1 ATM. You have 273K. You have R 0.0821. All right, so at number 6, they told us we had a volume, I think, if I remember that one. Yep, 2.80 liters. And they asked us to find the mass. So remember what I told Sheena a second ago. If we're solving for mass, we're always finding what? Grams. So we're solving for PV equals nRT. Pressure is 1. The volume is 2.8. And we don't know. R is 0.0821. Temperature is 273. Okay, so dividing by 0.0821 and 273. 0.0821 and 273 and equals, I think it's 0.017, but let me check. What was you got? I have the wrong question in my head. All right, so if that's our mole, now we need to do what? Convert it to grams. So now we're just going to take our T chart and go 0.125 moles. Moles, grams, 1 mole. What compound did they give us in this question? CO2. So off to the side, We got 1 C, 2 O's, times 12, times 16. We get 12, we get 32, for a total of 44. Now we're going to put 44 there. So you get 5.5. Like that. Question? Any questions? Yes, Brandon. Number which one? Sure. All right, for number 2, they gave you 2.5 moles, they want molecules. So, 2.5 moles. Okay. Okay. Number 3, 3.01 times 10 to the 23rd molecule. All right, we got molecules. Molecules goes to what? Moles. And then moles goes to what? Coming back to you, Brandon. An old conversion, right? So moles get to what? And molecules get what? Guess what? Uh-huh. And then grams was H2S. So you just got to add it up. There's 2 H's. There's 1 F. Mass of hydrogen is 1. Sulfur is 32. You get 2. You get 32 for a total of 34. Put 34 there. And then calculate. Anybody else? Question on homework? Anything bothering you? No? I feel better about it now? Okay. All right. So today, let me do this real quick before I close this out. Very few of you made this mistake. I don't know what it's back real quick. All right. So if you missed number 1 or number 3, one of the mistakes that I had to take points off on a couple of times is a couple of people kept missing their volumes. They kept putting it with the wrong thing. So make sure when you read the question on the test, see how it says, calculate the volume at STP, and the volume is at 875. A couple people had trouble with where the volume went. So calculate the volume at 1 ATM and 273. And then that 456 milliliters has to stay with the 875 and the 25. Those 3 things have to stay together. And a couple people had this volume over here by mistake. You can't do that. That volume has to stay with those numbers. So a couple people made that mistake and did the exact same thing in number 1, because it says calculate the volume at STP. So wherever you put the question mark, that 273 had to stay with the question mark. So I had a couple of people do that in both questions. But otherwise, the other mistake that was made was that PA number. Now, a lot of people don't like to memorize, and I only had one person do this out of both classes. Did it occur to anybody other than the one person in first period to change this to PA with a skill you already possess? How would you do that? What would go where? Who's bigger? Kilo or PA? We call kilo, but running got the lid up, so it's twice as bad today. So put one there. How many spaces between the baseline? And then King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. The kilo's up here and it's bigger. How many spaces between me and the baseline? And convert. Anybody think about doing that the long way? Just a thought, if you need it down the road. You don't have to do it, but I had one person who didn't know the number ask if they could do that during the quiz first period. I was like, I don't see why not. I certainly wouldn't discourage it. You can. The only reason I don't do the converting the decimal is students struggle with left or right, which is why I won't do it that way. Because if you always go for the one with the biggest unit and do that, you don't have to remember left or right. Because I can't remember left or right. I was one of those people who couldn't keep straight. Brandon, you had your hand up. This is number 5. A lot of people lost points with the conversion from PA. So you got it right. So see, like here, putting that number in, a lot of people converted wrong there, and so this number was wrong. They got this one, and then that number. That's the first, because they converted PA wrong. Okay, that was the most made error on the quiz. Actually, was this. All right, if you will, let's talk our new stuff for the day. Now, our new stuff that we're doing today, and possibly the other, we'll just see how far we get, because we're probably a little ahead of time-wise where first period was, because they had more questions on the homework than y'all had. Is on 2 new formulas. They're derivatives of PV equals NRC. Okay, and by derivatives, I mean they come from the ideal gas law. Now, neither of these formulas, neither of these formulas are on your reference table. You will have to memorize both of these formulas. Okay? Neither one is provided. You will have to learn both. You will need both. So, these are really the only 2 you have to memorize, because I showed you how to get Boyle, Charles, and Gay-Lussac out of the combined gas law. So having to memorize 2 formulas for the test is not asking a tremendous amount. I just showed you how to get past memorizing PA. So you're talking 2 formulas you got to keep straight for the test. Now, big M is molar mass. We have worked with molar mass this semester already. This is the mass of an element or a compound from the periodic table. We have also called it formula mass. Its units were U or AMU. Units were U or AMU. Now, our units, in this particular unit, are more likely to appear as grams per mole. There is nothing wrong with writing U or ANU. I will certainly take it, and I will not mark it wrong at all. They are fine to write it that way. Okay? However, because of the way unit cancellation works, I'm more apt to write grams per mole. But if you write U or ANU, I'm not going to mark it wrong. Now, what is little m? Little m is mass that's found in grams. Okay, mass was not in. Okay, one second. Let's see if I can shift the things around real quick. All right. I think I have them side by side now, so I don't have to flip through 4 or 5 slides first. This is mole, because we're going to use all 3 of these formulas today, and I'm going to work a problem where you can choose this formula or the other formula. Now, some of y'all don't talk to each other, so it's not going to be a big deal. But like Sheena and John talk to each other all the time. Sheena might choose to work with one formula. John might choose to work with a different formula. For example, if you're solving for volume, this formula can solve for volume. This formula can solve for volume. If you want to use this formula, though, you have to have a what? Mass. In what unit? Grams. So, if the information is given to you in grams, you might want to choose this one. But, if the information is given to you in moles, you might want to pick this formula. However, let's say that the question wants you to find mass. You can use this formula and do what with it? What did you do last night when I wanted you to find mass? Convert your grams per on a T-chart. If you want, you can use this formula and find mass. You just have more letters to move around and solve for in your algebra equation. Some people don't like this formula because it has a denominator that you got to cross multiply and shift around. It has more letters, while this formula has what? No denominator, so there's no cross multiplying. So they like the algebra better in this. Does it matter to me which one you pick? No, I don't care, as long as you can solve it. Now, if the question says find the molar mass, which one do you have to pick? You got to pick this one if it says find the molar mass. Okay? Now, what makes this question very similar to the one we used? What's the wrong way, John? To the one we used yesterday, like this one. It has a what in it? Nope. I had that in the day before. We did the quiz of the P1, V1, T1. So what makes this one just like yesterday's stuff? Okay, it only has one: pressure, temperature, and volume. Yes, and it has what else? It has the R. Okay, because this has R right here. Okay, this has our 0.0821 liters times atmosphere over moles times Kelvin. Since I wasted my precious time putting that unit up there, why do you suppose I did that? It dictates the units to those other 3 variables that are up there. Temperature doesn't change for Bowles, Charles, Gay, Lussac, or the combined law. It always has to be in Kelvin, right? But when you took your quiz yesterday, did pressure and volume have to be in Kelvin? Or sorry, in ATM or liters? No. Anybody work their questions yesterday and leave a pressure in like kPa? You left it in torr. Okay? Somebody in here, I'm sure, left that number 4 in kPa. Not everybody changed that thing to atmospheres. Okay? Do I get to leave this one in kPa? Why not? Why? Got an R. Okay? As soon as you see an R in that equation, right there, that tells you this has to be in ATM. Okay? As soon as you see that R, that tells you volume has to be in what? Liters. So, if we flip back, not tomorrow, but next week, and we're reviewing all the formulas together, and we have a question, and the question says, I'm going to use Charles' law. And you say, oh, this law, I'm using this. And you go, do I have to have liters? Or can I solve in milliliters? What's the answer? Do I have to have liters or can I do milliliters? Why, Andy? Why is the answer whatever I want? That's exactly right. And I will be asked that question between today and the day y'all take the test like 400 times. Most of them will be first season. A lot of y'all won't talk to me. All right? But you understand the difference. There's no R. So you don't have to use milliliters or liters or atmosphere. Now, it's T. Do I get to flip back and say, oh, I can use Celsius because I don't have an R? No. Temperature always has to be in what? Kelvin. Everybody with me? You sure? Okay. So, the second formula is density. Now, I would only use this formula if they gave me a density or they asked for a density. If they didn't do one or the other, I would not use this formula. Okay? D stands for density. The only thing that makes this different than the one we did way back in the fall and August is this is in grams over liters. When we did this back in August, we used grams over milliliter instead of grams over liters. We did grams over milliliters. Now, M is what we just talked about. This is molar mass. Okay? Periodic table mass. You're going to have to figure it out using the periodic table. And because you see an R, we know that's an ATM, that's in Kelvin, and that's 0.021 L times ATM over mole times Kelvin. All right, run up with it. All right, we're there? All right. So, here's a typical molar mass question. Now, I'll let you write it down. We'll kind of keep up the molar mass question. All right, you there? All right. So what am I solving for? All right. So big M equals little m RT over PV. And this is as easy as it gets, okay? Because you're just finding the missing pieces and plugging them in. So what do I know? All right. Always love to these down first. All right. Well, I know besides R. Okay. What's the temperature? All right. So if I got 273K, what else do I know? 1 ATM. All right. What else do I know? All right. 658 ml. And what's my last number up there? So is it big M or little m? It's little m. All right. So I know I'm solving for my capital M because that stands for molar mass. So before I plug in chug, I always want to check my what? Units. And if you listen to Andy, he said which one was not in the right unit. Volume. Now, is it okay with y'all if I just move the decimal and tell you where it's at? Is everybody good enough with that we don't need to actually draw the chart? Okay. So it's 0.658, right? I mean, if anybody's not, just tell me and I'll be glad to draw the chart. But y'all seem to be doing just fine with me just converting stuff in my head or just writing it up on the board. All right, so this formula is big M equals little m RT over PC. All right, so plugging in 35.69, 0.0821, 373. Then 1 and 0.658. This number, if I remember right from this morning, was real bad. I made up these numbers. 35.69. All right, 1215. No guess, that's molar mass of that. You can tell the ball made up these numbers. In grams per bowl. Most of the other stuff is pretty realistic. That was terrible. All right, we're there.
Are you still talking?
We're waiting. Okay. Give me 10 minutes, and they'll be working, and then you can bring them all back. Okay. All right, there. I'm always talking. All right, we're there. All right, let's do one density one, and then I'm gonna let y'all work. All right, y'all do that one. Write it down, and you solve it, and then I'll check to make sure everybody's with it. Now, check y'all will. Then we're gonna practice. right there. Are we done? All right. So if we look at what you came up with, all right, using the formula, density equals MP over RT. We've got to use the SO2 to find the what? Molar mass. The 568.4 goes with what? Okay. R is, okay, and temperature is good. All right, so if we start changing things, the temperature, of course, is always the easiest. 28 plus 273 is 301, right? Okay. 568 divided 760.747. I tend to take it out 3 decimal places. You take it out less. Of course, that's going to account for some of the difference in our answer, but you don't have to take it out 3 places if you don't want to. And then SO2, there's 1 S. There's 2 O's, so times 32 times 16, you get 32, you get 32 for a grand total of 64. So our molar mass is 64, right? So D equals MP over RT. Density equals our molar mass is 64 times 0.747 over 0.0821 times 301. Density equals 64 times 0.747 divided by 0.0821 divided by 301. I got 1.93, 1.91, somewhere in that range. I'm just going to make it 1.9 grams per liter. How do we feel about those two formulas? We feel pretty good about them? Any issues? All right, let's talk some practice. Quiz tomorrow, we use all 3 of these formulas. All right? Some questions will allow you to use either PV or DM. You choose which one you like. Now the question is, gives you data in moles, which one would I pick? If the question gives you information in moles, which one would you pick? I would pick PV equals RT. But could you use this one? You'd have to convert it back. Okay? I mean, you could use this one if it gives you the information in moles. You just got to change it back to grams. Okay? You just got to do more work. but you can certainly use it. All right, I want to do numbers 1 through 4, 6, 8, and 10. Okay? Just those. I've got the same thing that I had before. I've got the answers up here on my desk. So you can check yourself. You can ask me questions, which I would really like. Okay? So that I can help you if you have trouble. It will not be the last time it happens to you, dear. Unfortunately. I wish it was. And I'm sincerely sorry. That's all I can say. The whole semester. Oh my God. Last question. I guess. We have questions. Okay. I want you to get your hands on your work. Yep. Exactly. Perfect. Fine. Well, that will help you narrow up. You can pick another, your type of work. That will help you. That's what I want to do. Cut down on my work. That's what it's for. Left foot. Right? Just a big thingy and you gotta change that frame. Okay. Tengo, tengo, uh, maybe down the spot.
Says you eat your ass. You got you. Pretty helpful. Unless it's boy. Other than that, that's pretty helpful. Boy. Well, yeah. N O F L V R. You can run on your periodic table. You can't use that periodic table now and put her down. All right, maybe you get mine now. Five clear brown iguanas. That's only a stupid sentence, but it'll stick with you. Yeah, nice to get it in there. One of the ones that missed a lot. I bet you do. You might somebody tell me that this morning. They told me they had no idea what I was talking about. Huh? On the final exam, 45. 40 count and 5 are skill test like every year. So you know everything we've done won't be on the exam. Problem is, I have no idea what 40 questions they think are important and what topics are important. So we have to cover it all, so I don't know what will be. And I haven't seen the exam in at least 7 years. At least, I don't know how long. They won't let me see. I am out and about looking at other exams. Typically, I am getting English or a every now and then I'll get math. If they really want to, if they can get a PhD, teach people 4 hours in a math class. It's like, well, and if that happens, I will not see you learn these things because I won't do that. But usually I get a 2 hour NCSE final. It's a matter of getting started to write it back. all of their life. Very much so. Yeah, appreciate it. You're welcome. That's question. Anybody have questions? Can you come all right?
One.
No, I'm just saying that.
I think number 8. I think she was right here. It's supposed to be. I think she put a 1 by that.
I'm just.
Final interruption for a commercial break.
Commercial.
What's up, everybody? It's King Flash Support Live. Think you could take me on, go and see me as well, and buy your ticket, $2. Go do it.
Oh, I heard a key star. Oh, yeah. Key star.
Jeremiah who? That was Jeremiah Alfred?
Yeah, it is. I heard a key star.
Blackwell said I missed an announcement, I couldn't hear over the fish pack, what I missed.
Yeah, I don't know.